All right, so what I want to talk about today is scanning and checking your surroundings after you've encountered a threat. Okay, now there's two rules of thought on this. And this first one that I'm going to show you, um, some people teach it. It doesn't make sense to me, but if it works for them, that's great. Okay, the first one is when you encounter a threat, right, you want to stay on that threat. And what I mean by scan, you want to go ahead and scan your surroundings. Okay, you want to scan left or right in front of you, okay, right to left, in back of you, however you want to do it. Either way, you're scanning front and back. Okay, now what a lot of people do, what a lot of people will teach, and I see this in law enforcement, and hey, you know what? If it works for you and that's what you're taught, I can't say anything, but it doesn't make sense to me, right? So if I come out and I encounter a threat, right, and this is even for people at home, you still want to check and you still want to scan for other threats. Somebody that comes into your home, your backyard, or whatever, right? And that's a threat to you. Okay, so what you want to do is when I come out, what I mean by scanning, right, is I'm going to show you the proper way. Okay, now, so what I do is I come out, I encounter my threat, and then what I do is my finger is still on the trigger on the wall, and what I'm doing now is scanning for other threats. Okay, and when I check my six, you're going to hear that if you haven't already heard that. When I check my six, right, my gun is down range, it's still pointed down range. My finger is off off the trigger because I've scanned. I see nobody in front of me, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to check back, one side and the other. Now, and this is no matter what technique you use, when you check your six, you're looking for specific things. You're just not looking for somebody in back of you. You're looking to see if that somebody is a threat to you, is coming up behind you, has a firearm, has a knife, right? Or whatever, that maybe this person here had an accomplice or something, okay? So when I check, okay, that means I'm gonna go ahead and holster because this is downrange, this is not, right? So I'm gonna use my finger gun here. So when I come up and I'm down here, what I'm gonna do is if I see that threat, I'm gonna look, and I'm just not looking for his face. I'm looking for something, I'm looking for a weapon, right? I'm looking for something specific. A lot of people, when they're taught how to scan from the back, what they're looking for is just something. They don't even know what they're looking at, right? They're just looking for something. And if you don't know what you're looking for, you could make a mistake, all right? And accidentally take somebody else. Don't want to do that. Regardless, okay? Um, Now, a lot of people, a lot of instructors will teach this. Counter your threat, come back into basically a compression, right? Compressed ready, right? But they're down here at their chest, right? So they are scanning and they're using their body as a turret, which is fine, right? But if they see another threat, they got to come back up into that threat, right? And it takes way too much longer. They got to come back up into that. Sorry, you got to take back up into that front sight, and it takes way too long to come from here to here, as opposed from low ready, just looking underneath your sights, right, to coming up and taking that shot right there. Okay. Now, this is the other thing too, is when they scan, and I'm not saying this for everybody, so don't get on me, right? They'll pivot. Now I'm going to go ahead again. I'm going to holster, right? They'll pivot. They'll keep it up here, and they'll go ahead and pivot like this. Okay. So what does that do? If I pivot from one side to the other, if I pivot here, right, I can't see what's back there, right? It's hard for me to see back there, and it's hard for me to counter. It'd be hard for me to engage, right? So they come here, pivot, come back up, pivot again, right? And they'll say clear, engage, or whatever. As opposed to here, you're here, here, right? If I have to engage, I'm still up into my front sights while I'm into my down while I'm still downrange, right? That means I can come down here and engage, and that's my pivot. Now, if you look at my feet, which you can't, my feet when I pivot, right, I come back right back into the stance that I want. I'm back into that fighting stance. Anyway, there's no right way, there's no wrong way, right? There is just things that make sense or they don't make sense. If you practice something long enough, right, hey, you get used to it, and that's great. Okay, and it becomes second nature, and that's what we want. We want it to become. We want these things to become second nature. Okay, but again, my way of scanning is I'm here, right? I come down just below my sights, right? If I see another threat here, I back up into that side again, right? Got to move it maybe about 2 inches up, and that's it. Okay, come down, right? Gun is down range, right? I'm here. Check my six. Check my six. I'm scanning for everything. I'm looking for threats, and I'm looking to see if there's any weapons or anything like that, or anybody coming at me, right? That's going to be some type of an imminent threat. All right. If you guys have any comments, questions, or anything like that, I want to hear them down below. Okay. Appreciate it if you guys could subscribe and and engage. If you want to try and beat these algorithms, YouTube is really suppressing any type of firearms that's going on. So anyway, appreciate you guys listening.